Hello, orchid growers. So here is another orchid tour here at the New York Botanical Gardens. As you can see, this is the facade of the greenhouse and the outdoor reflection pool. And yeah, let's start the tour. So here is the first thing that you would see during the orchid show here at NYBG. And here is a massive exhibit of different types of orchids surrounded by plastic tubing. So you could see the orchids are nestled between pockets in the very intricate web of plastic tubing. Oncidiums, Phalaenopsis, Dendrobiums, and many more. So here is an up close view of the exhibit, the plastic tubing exhibit, and yeah, it's quite a show. A lot of Miltoniopsis also, as you could see, very colorful. So here is Tsubotaara Melinda Marie, one of the blue hybrids, closely related to the Zygopetalum and Cynosure. So here are some Epidendrum radicans on the ground and a lot of spikes. And this is orange Cymbidium. And here you go. Here is a quite popular Beallara, Oncidium intergeneric, Beallara Marfitch, Howard's Dream, AMAOS. So it's a very interesting looking flower, definitely. And a lot of spikes from Wildcats, Oncidium Wildcats. And here we're looking at a nice looking exhibit made out of bamboo scaffolds with nestled orchids. And looking closely, there are a lot of Phalaenopsis and Oncidiums. So you could see there are a lot of Wildcats, Gordon Ramsays, Oncidiums. Very nice. So here is an orange Phalaenopsis. Very nice orange color, red orange color with yellow highlights on the edge. KS Orange Taida Momotaro. Here is the white Miltoniopsis orchid, a lot of white blossoms with yellow throat lip, as you could see there, and a lot of Phalaenopsis spreads. Very nice and very fragrant. And another fragrant orchid here is the Zygopetalum. Um, Very similar to the one I have at home. And it's really nice with this big white Phalaenopsis flowers, very abundant. And here is another white orchid, which is the Cymbidium, a lot of white with pink blush, and a lot more of these smaller miniature orchids hanging on plastic tubing. And this is an unfirmed. It's Lecanopteris crustacea. Very odd looking, as you could see here. And here is the Asian corsage orchid. And this is the first time that I heard that they are Asian corsage orchids. Because we know the original corsage orchid is the Cattleya. Well, I was supposed since Asia doesn't have a corsage orchid, Dendrobiums would be that one. So here is a nice area in the botanical gardens wherein they have this very peculiar, odd-looking vine. And here are lilies. And let's take another look on this vine. This is the Thunbergia mysorensis. It's there's a lot of names for this one. One of the well-known names is the Indian clock vine. There's also the lady slipper vine, brick and butter, and doll shoes. So yeah, they kind of look like doll shoes, brick and butter. I don't know why clock vine, but apparently it was named after a city in India, Mysore, something like that. And it's a vine that it's kind of woody and doesn't like frost, but the flower pretty much the whole spring and fall up to fall, and the nectar on these plants are favorite of hummingbirds. So it's an ornamental plant in California right now. The lilies and everything on this small fountain is quite nice contrast against these vines. So here is a canopy made out of bamboo and plastic tubing with a lot of hanging orchids, a lot of vanda type orchids. And here's one on the side, the one in blue with vanda with some Miltonopsis on the side. Huge flowers, as you could, imagine for vandas. These are the names. Oh, that's a Christmas palm at the background. So here are some Paphiopedilums on the ground. Very nice pouch, yellow pouch. Very round sepals, so you could see there with webbing. Very nice, cute Paphiopedilum. And also the leaves are mottled with mottled patterns. And here you are looking at some orchids hanging, some mottled leaves there. And here is a flower that I'm not sure what it is. There's a Monnierara Millennium Magic here, as you could see here. The flowers are a little bit fading, but you could see it's really dark colored, almost black. Those ones are the popular black orchids. As you could see against the canopy of bamboo. Latoria type Dendrobium orchids, named here Dendrobium spider lily. As you would know, Latoria type Dendrobiums, and this is a Roy Tokunaga. The blooms could last up to 3 to 4 months on this one. So very long lasting blooms on Dendrobiums. And a lot of nobile type soft cane dendrobiums. Very fragrant too. There are a lot of them, and with this much in bloom, you could definitely feel these scents. Some Latoria type dendrobiums mixed in, as you could see here. Firewing dendrobiums, as you could see there. Silver wings and memory fizz, one of those Yamamoto soft cane dendrobiums. So here is the carnivorous Nepenthes vine against the Pragmipedium specimen here. Very big, very huge Pragmipedium specimen. You could see there, and that's the name, Pragmipedium le Derole. It's a French name, so that's one of those things that's hard to pronounce. Alright, and here are more terrestrial orchids, Paphiopedilums, and this would remind me of the Peloponnense species because of the striations, lines, very distinct lines on these multifloral Paphiopedilums. A lot of flowers. Very mesmerizing actually. So here is a vivarium that they have there in the botanical garden where they have the orchids with needs require humidity. This is Oberonia setigera. So it came from the Philippines, and this is a relatively cold growing Masdevallia amplexa. This is known to be a sequential bloomer, Masdevallia. It's really hard to focus on the plants inside the vivarium because of the glass container. There it says it came from Peru. Alright, so this is familiar to a lot of people with vivariums, Lacharthia or Steadii. So there you go. Yeah, they're interesting. And a lot more Paphiopedilums. And this very cute one here from Vietnam is Paphiopedilum delenatii. There's a typographical error on their tag, but that's fine. It should be delenatii. Alright, so there's a lot more Paphiopedilums there. A lot of mislabeling there. There's this one. This is a Latoriate dendrobium that's quite popular. The alien-looking Dendrobium spectabile. It's about to, yeah, close to fading now, as you could see there. It turned brown a little bit, much more less fresh than usual. This one I didn't get a tag, but similar to uh, a, a cross of Paphiopedilum philippinense, and this one is not in bloom, which is Gastricchylus bellinus or bellinus, alright, and a lot more of the relatively high humidity, high altitude orchids. So you could see there, it's really hard to focus. There you go. So I'm trying to focus on this Phalaenopsis parishii variation Nobile. It has very cute flowers, very miniature Phalaenopsis, and okay, of course that's the Gastrocchylus there, and this one is the Platistel stenostakia. So here are the carnivorous plants. We have the sarracenias or the pitchers, and we also have, yeah, there you go. So the Sarracenia purpurea found in North America, and here we have the Drosera spatulata, which is the sundews, and these are Venus flytraps in flower. They have really tall flower spikes, as you could see there. It's also in the vivarium, so that's why you see reflections. It's Pinguicula primuliflora. So you would know this is a butterwort, as you would know, the butterwort carnivorous plant that eats the fungus gnats, which is good for growing. Different types of sarracenias, a lot from North Carolina and Florida. All right, so as you could see, they have this picture-like uh, foliage, and that's the flower, one of the flowers of those sarracenias. Very odd looking too. So now we're here at the dry, arid area of the botanical garden. We're looking at the Cleistocactus icosagonus from Ecuador and Peru, and it looks like snakes, cactus snakes. This one is Cephalocereus senilis, and as you guessed, senilis, like old, kind of look like, you know, um, white hair, like for old people. And this is Echinopsis strigosa, very prickly cactus, and Carnegie gigantea. Well, this is not so gigantic right now, but I've seen pictures online and they could grow up until like two-story buildings tall. Yeah, so very spectacular plants. And this is like one of those Christmas cactuses that kind of look like that. Anyway, so this is a desert orchid, Eulopia petersii, and it's from Africa and the Middle East. And they're the ones at the back there, behind the sign. Actually, they're way back at the behind the sign. So it's really hard to capture a picture of it. So they're currently not in bloom, but they're the only few orchids that I know of that are that could live in the desert. All right, so definitely you could see orchids from any part of you know the world, including deserts. And there's a lot of succulents here. Here is a succulent. This is the Cyphostemma jute, and they cut down the succulent leaves on these guys here because to promote growth. They're ornamental too because of the great looking fruits on them. This is a very hairy tree fern, as you could see there. Very nice. It's so hairy. I was just fixated on the hair. So here is the Zamia pseudoparasitica, the only known cycad to be epiphytic. Cycads are one of the very old plants ever, the most fossilized plants in the natural history. And now you're looking at the philodendron, most probably the Monstera philodendron, the very well-known houseplant nowadays. It's a nice treehouse area. So by the way, this is Cavendicia grandifolia, and this is the neotropical blueberry, which has 4 times the amount of antioxidants than the regular blueberries. These are really the close relative of the blueberry, but it grows in the tropical region, uh, like Ecuador, and they look like plastic um, fruit. They don't look real. It's really odd. And then you cannot really correlate it to a blueberry. It's very odd looking. That's a cattleya out there at the top, clinging on the tree. So this is the tropical area, the rainforest area. More berries. grandifolia berries. So there you go. So basically, that's the conclusion of the New York Botanical Garden tour for the Orchid Show. And yeah, thank you for watching and hope you subscribe to my channel. Are the long lines, by the way, outside the greenhouse for the show. And it's quite a nice show. Too bad it's uh, gone now. It ended already. Hope you enjoyed this video and see you on the next one. Bye bye.